Watch this interview to the very end. You will hear everything Julius Malema said in this video. And this interview is very interesting. Enjoy the clip.
Mr. Malema, you also said in your recent press conference that you thought the U.S. ambassador should have packed his bags and gone the day after he made those allegations about weapons transfers to Russia. Do you still stand by that statement?
His credentials should have been withdrawn with immediate effect. Look at what he did to our currency. Look at the damage he did to the good, beautiful image of our country. Despite all the channels that are there, West America can access anyone they want to access in this country. He takes a post he has taken, discrediting our country to a point where I like Minister of Defense's example, that we have not transferred anything, even the smallest to the size of chappies has never been sent to Russia. So why would someone just, in a diplomatic engagement, take such a posture against our country?
And many people have criticized the U.S. ambassador's statements, but you went one step further and said that it would actually be good if we gave weapons to Russia.
Yes.
Don't you think that is not just veering towards non-alignment, but actually active participation in support for Russia?
We are not non-alignment. What is non-alignment? Was Russia non-alignment during apartheid? Russia gave us guns.
So did Ukraine.
No, we agree, but our ally in the battle between Ukraine and Russia, it's Russia. And why would we want to give weapons to Ukraine? Why would we want to be non-aligned when it comes to Russia and Ukraine, when we say our political and historical ally has always been Russia? So they never became neutral. They've been with us. They trained most of our leaders today in their universities, in the military, and then equipped us. So anything that seeks to take a posture against the USA, we're aligned to it.
So let's delve into the historical narrative, because Russia and the Soviet Union aren't necessarily one and the same thing. So it's correct to say the Soviet Union was our ally, but the Russian Federation, which succeeded the Soviet Union, is quite a different political entity, a capitalist state in many ways, filled with great capitalist exploitation, from which President Putin himself has benefited. Ukraine could just as easily, historically, in fact sometimes more in terms of the training of MK combatants, MK leaders, stake a claim, historical claim to South Africa's allegiance. So why do we pledge allegiance to this new political entity which is not identical with the Soviet Union itself?
No, the Soviet Union played an important role in solidarity with South Africa, but Russia in particular. So we are not confused about the role that was played by the Soviet Union, and that the Soviet Union trained a lot of our cadres, but Russia itself played, in that context of the Soviet Union, more significant, important role. A lot of ministers, we can call their names today, learned for free in the universities of Russia. Many of ministers, we can quote their names, and leaders today were trained in Russia. And we're not confusing Russia with the Soviet Union. We know the difference. And we know that Russia, as is now, it's a capitalist state. But anything that seeks to create an alternative to the USA, it's an ally to the EFF. A capitalist in nature, but it has taken a posture to take head on in alliance with China, a socialist state, to take on the imperialism and to take the USA directly.
But I think,
and that's, for us, is what makes Russia in this context more strategic.
Some would say that's too clear or that's too much of a dichotomy that you're drawing there between if you're against NATO, if you're against the West,
yes,
then you must be supported. Isn't it possible to, in the tradition of many revolutionary African leaders, to say, as in the case of the Cold War and the Soviet Union, we're not in the Western Bloc, nor are we going to support acts of war and aggression that come from the alternative bloc. We're going to create our own path in international relations, because otherwise one falls victim to the claim that you're a lapdog for Russian interests, instead of having your own position on these questions.
No, we're an anti-imperialist organization. And anything that takes head on imperialism, we aligned with it. We're not a Russian lapdog. We have to create both tactical and strategic allies internationally if we want to attain socialism as a system that should operate worldwide. We cannot operate in isolation. And that's why you see the Communist Party of China not having a difficulty to align with Russia, knowing very well that Russia and Putin is a capitalist system and Putin is a beneficiary of such a system. But in the international politics, they've taken a correct posture. And that posture is what we are as the EFF.
But do you denounce Russian aggression? Do you find anything wrong with the fact that Russia intervened directly in Ukraine, went to war in contravention of the UN Charter? Do you denounce that?
My guy, we're with Russia. We're not denouncing Russia. And we'll give it weapons if we're a state. There's no confusion about that.
Well, the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights says that 24,000, not combatants, civilians, have died in Ukraine. And the majority of these civilians, some of whom are children, about 1,000, have died under the consequences of bombing and explosions. So the question is not necessarily one of just geopolitics. It's also a moral question about the loss of innocent life to the tune of 24,000 people. And that matters, doesn't it?
It does, but there will always be casualties in war, especially when the leadership of your country doesn't take into consideration the interest of that particular country and pursue the West, NATO, American aligned interest at the cost of their own country and their own civilians. I mean, this matter would have been resolved if Ukraine will not have allowed its expansion. So we are very sympathetic to civilians who lost life, and we will not be proud of such. But unfortunately, my guy, it's a war, and there will be casualties. It is what it is.
I hope you heard everything Julius Malema said in this video. I can say that Julius Malema is one of the best politicians in South Africa. Why do I say so? He fights for the people and fights for the right of the people and also the right of himself. Yes, he speaks the truth, and whatever he does, he do it with, in fact, with wisdom and knowledge. That is why I like Julius Malema. So I hope you heard everything he said in this video, or all he said in this video is very interesting. You can drop your own opinion in the comment section. Let's know what you think. For more news and updates like this, don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next upload, and bye for now.